Okay, before I go into Rob's cunning plan, I forgot to mention, and this is a very important point, okay? There are two yous, in a sense, okay? You have your real true self, your sentient soul, right? And then you have this other person, they call person, legally they call it person in all the law books, okay? And this person, some people refer to it as your straw man, okay? This is a fictitious entity. It's a corporation, so that it can deal in this whole fictitious world that we're all sort of operating in, okay? And this is how they trip you up in things like court. They will say, see, now they can do nothing to your person, your fictitious entity, which is on the birth certificate, all caps letters. Okay, now they're flipping it around because people are learning about the all caps. They're doing like last name first or something like that. But anyway, your sentient soul must act as the agent for that person. So when they take you, like, let's say they invite you into court, that's a whole nother issue. I don't even think we need to go to court. Okay, I'm hoping to interview Robert Menard, and that's going to be one of my big questions for him. Mary Croft says that, just send them an RSVP. We don't even need to go to court. It's their court system. They drew it up. We're not under it. I'm telling you guys, gotta look into this stuff. But so when, let's say you're in court, let's say you got a traffic ticket or something. Rob also, he's got loads of videos too. Oh, I got to tell you right now, he's got a website, thinkfree.ca, CA for Canada. He's got free movies, watch his movies, educate yourself, get a pen and paper, take notes, okay? This stuff will start to sink in, and you will realize how powerful we are. Mary, the same thing. She has a story in her book where the judge says, "Are you Mary Croft?" And she answers, "If I answer that question, am I entering into a contract with you?" Basically, unless you enter into a contract, your fictitious entity, your name with their fictitious entity, their corporation, they have no jurisdiction over you. But they don't tell you this. It's all big, lovely trick, okay? But she has broken through. She realizes that. So she asked the judge, she said, "If I answer that question, am I entering into a contract with you?" She said, the judge asked it one more time. He said, "I'm going to ask you this one more time. Are you Mary Croft?" With his tonality, intimidation. She answered back the same question. "Am I entering a contract with you?" He turned purple, literally threw her out of the courtroom. So, she's like, "Ooh, I touched a nerve. Okay." She said she was ecstatic. Okay, I figured this out. Another one, there's a woman, Irene Gravenhorst, or something like that. There's a little YouTube video. And similar thing, she came into court, and she immediately said, I think maybe they asked, "How do you plea?" or some, I don't know what it was. But she just said, "I do not consent, and I waive all the benefits." Boom. Whole case was dismissed because you do not consent. You know that whole thing about, do you understand? The police will always say, "Do you understand?" And what they're really saying is, "Do you stand under us?" And you must say, "No, I don't understand." And then Rob makes a point. And then if he asks you another question, do not answer it, because as soon as you answer the second question, first he said, "Do you understand?" You said, "No." No, I don't stand under you. I stand under God. God is above you. That's the only one I answer to. I answer to the natural laws. And, criminal laws. I can't hurt anybody or damage anybody's property. But all these other little laws that you all are calling laws, like speeding tickets and, how many are there? There's like 1,600,000 of these things. There's no way any of us know all these, right? We're all breaking their little laws. But their little laws are actually statutes. And the only thing that is required to follow the statute is our fictitious person. So if we never pull our fictitious person out and we are only operating as sentient souls under God, we are not required to follow all these inane statutes or acts, okay? So that's why I say this is so huge. We're always spending this time fighting, oh, they're going to pass this act, and they're going to pass this act, and oh my gosh, they're going to take all of our rights. No! That is the whole diversionary thing. That's why I say, this whole thing about Ron Paul, I mean, I love him for all, the way he's woken everybody up. But then I got to say, I know Ron Paul must know this. How come he's not telling us this? Because this is the way out. This is the only way out of this thing. And that's to basically, if you're operating under commerce, which Rob makes a great point, it's not just buying, it's not just selling, it's not even, if you buy something, you improve it, and then you turn around and resell it. Like he gives the example, you buy some wheat, you mill it, and you sell it as flour. That's not even commerce. You go buy some shoes. That's not commerce. You go sell some whatever, goji berries. That's not commerce. What is commerce? The only thing that is commerce and that all these statutes apply to is if you buy something, you do absolutely nothing with it, you just hold it, like a commodity, like investing in a commodity, you hold it, then you resell it, hoping that maybe the price will go up or something. And then you resell it, you've done absolutely nothing with it. You've added no value to it whatsoever. It's strictly an investment. That is what commerce is. So if you're going to be operating in that, then okay, you're going to have to operate under all these codes and rules. But otherwise, you pretty much can leave your person, your straw man, at home. And so they say, do not carry an ID, because when the police stop you and they ask you questions, let me see your ID. As soon as you produce that ID, you as the sentient soul handing over the identification of your straw man, now you've entered into a sort of contract with them. Now they've got power over you. Now you have basically said, I stand under you. Something to that effect, okay? Again, I've not researched this exhaustively. I'm just trying to whet your appetite, hoping you will go out and do some research as well. Okay, so basically, the only laws, there's the huge difference between law and statute, and that's what we need to understand. The laws are you can't, harm another person, you can't damage someone else's property, and you may not enter into a contract with, you may not defraud somebody in a contract. Those are the only three ways to break natural laws. So if you're not doing any of those things, you pretty much should be walking around unharassed, yeah? But we know there is massive police harassment for every little thing. I mean, you're afraid to sneeze anymore. But Rob has such a brilliant plan. Oh my gosh, I hope everyone catches this vision, because this is just so brilliant. So anyway, did I explain that well enough that we don't have to follow these statutes, so we're wasting our time calling our representatives and checking out this bill and checking out that bill? Okay, this is a huge distraction on purpose. I think that this is such a race. This is such a race between the New World Order and us finding our freedom. And I mean, I totally believe we're going to win this. I like know it inside me. And maybe they know it too. Maybe they think they're going to win, but they're feeling the desperation because they know they're wrong. Here's another point. I think it was in the Zeitgeist Addendum, in fact. There was the story of a guy, right? We all know about how the whole debt structure is, and there is no money. The money's created out of thin air and all that, right? So the guy went to court. He was being foreclosed on, and he took the bank to court, I think, something like that. And he said, basically, I put up a house as collateral. The bank put up nothing. All they did was type some numbers into a computer. They typed some digits into a computer, created this out of thin air. Other people went to work and built an actual house, a tangible house sitting on land. This is real property, and they're going to come take this house in exchange for punching some numbers into the computer. That is not a fair exchange. It's not a real contract because no consideration was given. And if I can recall from my, business law class in college a long time ago, I remember that consideration could be as much as $1. So I'm thinking these banks are going to catch on to this. They're probably going to give consideration of $1 or one gold coin or some stupid trick like that, and then you'll have no case. So we have got to be so damn vigilant on this and understand how they play. But anyway, so the guy made that case in court. He kept his house, okay? And I want to make the case, they've put us up as collateral, all the forest land and all the property and all this. I claim there's no debt. We are not even in debt because the guys that have given the money, all they've done is given us the lubrication to exchange with each other. It's just easier than barter. We could have done that ourselves, okay? We all know about the 1913, the whatever from Jekyll Isle, right? This is when it happened, 1913, when they changed this thing over and they gave the Federal Reserve the power to give us the money rather than the government. And here Johnny Liberty makes this great point. He says, okay, so the Treasury prints, for example, a $100 bill. Cost them 3 cents to actually print it, okay, in their costs. They turn around and they sell for 3 cents, so there's no loss, no gain, right, to the Federal Reserve. They sell that $100 bill. The Federal Reserve loans that $100 bill back to the United States government. So immediately, they bought it for 3 cents, they turn around and give it back to us as a loan for $100. So boom, they made $99.97 on that, just like that. And then on top of that, they charge us interest. And they've done nothing. They've done absolutely nothing that we couldn't have done. And then they say, we own everything. You're all in debt. And we're all running like damn hamsters on a wheel just to survive. Man, the joke is on us. And if we do not wake up out of this, if we're not furious enough and just say, you know what? Just like the guy said, they didn't give us any consideration. They gave us nothing back. I declare we aren't in debt.